Anyaoku-Popoola on the Miss IJ's Kids Inclusive podcast. And today I feel like I have a treat of a guest, and his name is Musa Mothe. He is a dancer, but he's not just any dancer. He's a dancer who is really pushing the boundaries of inclusion when it comes to performing arts. So it's really been a pleasure. I want him to introduce himself, and it's really just going to be a conversation between two people. And I'm really excited because I have a love for anything that's performing arts. So I'm really excited to speak to him today. So thank you, Musa, for being on the show.
Thank you.
All right. So could you just tell us about yourself? So for me, I ran into an article online, and I noticed what it is that you do, but I want you
Yeah.
to just tell everyone who's listening, our listeners all over the world, just who you are and what makes you so dynamic.
Okay. My name is Musa Mothe, as introduced, all the way from South Africa. I'm a dancer and I'm a cancer survivor. Um, Currently tapping into business industry, and I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a choreographer. I'm a dance teacher, and
Nice.
currently building and um, tapping into writing my own dance technique for inclusion, people more especially who are physically challenged, more like amputees who want to tap into like classical dance industry.
Nice.
And yeah, that's me. And currently I'm working on a company in London. Um, yeah.
That's amazing. I heard you say amputee, and I want to ask because is that something that you're okay being labeled? Like, how did that happen? I know your story, but I want you to share a little bit of your story. Were you, of course, not born that way, but what
Mhm.
happened that led to that point of you
Um,
being
yeah.
amputee?
I guess I started with soccer. I was a soccer player before, but it escalated to me being diagnosed with cancer at the age of 10, 11. The type of cancer was osteosarcoma, a bone marrow type of cancer.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, that's what led to amputation.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, that's the shortest version of the story, I guess.
Okay, but it that when you because I read that when you discovered the cancer was there, was your body telling you anything different, or did something happen on the field that made you eventually figure out that there was cancer in your bones?
Oh, yes, definitely. For me to spot it, uh, so we had a match on that other day, and then I got kicked on my left knee, and then yeah, that's where I started to get more pains every night after that, and then my knee started to swell up um, by day, and then yeah, there was a point whereby like at that night my mom couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take it anymore also because the pain
Wow.
was going away, and then we had to like call an ambulance and all of that. I mean, that's where the hospital journey started. Going from hospital to hospital. You know, going to I remember I started in Sibuking Hospital in
Mhm.
South Africa, Johannesburg South, and then I went to Baragwanath Hospital. It's in Soweto. Also, it's like Johannesburg South also. And then from Soweto, they sent me to Johannesburg Gen. That's where I did a surgical process called biopsy, where they take like a sample of your bone marrow, and then they
Mhm.
do like a DNA test of it, like what's going on in your body.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, from there, that's where we actually got the results. And then they told me that I have cancer, and then they explained what is it, what does it do, what can happen, pros and cons, and the solutions also. And then, yeah, I guess it was not really that um, long process
Mhm.
because after a week I got diagnosed. I was already getting introduced to the concept of amputation. And then yeah, after that I got introduced to chemotherapy just to make sure that everything's cleared up, and yeah, a year later I was done, up and running, go back to school, play soccer again, and yeah, the rest is history.
Oh my goodness. Look, listening to you, it really does feel like that was a moment, I think maybe for your mom and for you. Because how old were you
Yeah.
when you found out that it was cancer?
I was 10
Oh,
years.
wow.
Yes.
That's a, I mean, that's a lot. I mean, looking at you now, no one would even think that you had that moment in your life where you had to deal with such a big decision or just a big experience. And to look at what
Yeah.
you're doing right now, but we'll get to those questions. I can only just imagine your mom, at the time, was she open to the idea of amputation?
um to be honest, initially it didn't sit well with her,
Hmm.
because I don't think she was actually expecting that to happen, you know.
Oh.
And then again, as a parent, to go through such, I mean, it's a trauma. I guess like everything was happening so fast that she couldn't take it in at the
Hmm.
same time, because
Right.
after that it was a matter of, they told her about chemotherapy, what it can do,
Hmm.
and then all of a sudden they're telling her the chemo can't work alone, they need to amputate. So it's like there was a lot happening, and
Yeah.
yeah, but I believe she was strong the whole time, and
Yeah.
yeah, she was my hero. And without her, I don't think I
Mhm.
was gonna make it.
Aw. Are you the only child?
No, I have siblings.
Wow. Oh, are you the, like, what's your, are you the third, the fourth,
I'm the second born.
you're the second? Well, it's still up there. That's like, my
Yeah.
second child. Wow. So you guys went through all of that, ended up having your leg amputated. How was therapy and physical therapy? I can only just imagine.
I actually didn't go through therapies because I actually didn't think about like needing them. You
Mm-hmm.
know, yeah. After the treatment, I was up and running. I was already starting a new life. Going to school, um, meeting up with my friends, playing soccer
Mm-hmm.
again. I guess uh, I created my own therapy sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't actually think about, oh no, now this happened. Now I need to think about different ways of,
Yeah.
fitting in into society. But it was just about like how I blended in with
Yeah.
everyone, because I had, people who actually was opened up. They opened their heart and they
Mm-hmm.
welcomed me very well, and it was
Mm-hmm.
just yeah, remarkable. It
Wow.
was it was an exciting moment, and I couldn't even like think about, let me just think about going to a psychologist,
Mm-hmm.
because one,
Mm-hmm.
two, three, no, I
Yeah.
just went up and it was
And you just,
okay.
that does say a lot about you. It says a lot about who you are. It says a lot about,
Yeah.
even at a young age, to just look at life and want to get back into it. And I think that attitude probably has transcended into your love for dance. So my question is, how do you go from you're a soccer player to you're a dancer? Because it's like, it feels like two different worlds. It's like someone who plays,
Yeah.
American football deciding that, what, I'm gonna be a ballerina today, and it's like, wow, that's different. But if you have a love for art, you have a love for art. So how did that start? And I can only imagine again, like the transition of, okay, your mindset, and I will talk about that, like your mindset
Mm.
in going through those motions and actually acting on it. So how did you go from soccer to full on performing arts?
Um, from soccer, I was playing soccer as an amputee with able
Mm,
bodies, and
nice.
yeah, I kinda got into a reality of transition into the greater heights, which started when we were celebrating our tournament that we won.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was a DJ, and I was DJing at the party, and everybody was dancing except me, But I was like, let me just try this. I played a
Mm-hmm.
song, and then
Mm-hmm.
I went in front of the decks, and then I tried to ask my friend to actually teach me how to dance. And yeah, they taught me how to dance. They drew the lines on the floor. They were like, "You this is this, the left crutch is it as your
Mm-hmm.
left leg and all of that." And then
Mm-hmm.
from there, I took it serious. The following day, I was really persistent about it. I asked my friends like, "Okay, can you continue from that? Let's go further. Teach me more." And then last thing I knew, I was already joining a local dance crew.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, we did some street battles and all that. At the time, I was dancing Ispuja. Ispuja is it's a dance genre pioneered in
Mm-hmm.
South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tapped into Ispantula.
Mm-hmm.
Ispantula is also pioneered in South Africa. And then I tapped into hip hop, a little bit of hip hop. And
Mm-hmm.
then, yeah, from there, I started to work with a whole lot of people, with the likes of Tanisha Scott from America. I worked with when
Nice.
Drake was in South Africa. We shot a music video, One Dance, of
Mm-hmm.
which I was one of the main dancers in it.
Yeah,
And
I
then,
remember that. I remember you in
oh
that. I was
yeah,
gonna ask you about that. That
yeah,
you were in Drake's One Dance. Whoop,
yeah,
whoop. Hey,
yeah.
Africa.
And then from there, I did a lot of TV shows.
Yeah.
I worked with a lot of
Nice.
dance
That's pretty
companies,
cool.
but
Mm-hmm.
it was about like competitions and all, workshops and all. And then in
Mm-hmm.
2018, I started to think about tapping into professional field and
Yeah.
then see where I can take this. And then yeah, I joined a dance company in Johannesburg, new town, called um, Vianney Dance Theater, founded by Gregory Makoma. So yeah, and then that's where everything started to open up.
Wow. I just love your mind though. Let me be very honest with you because it's like someone is talking to you and I know we shouldn't think that way, right? Like no one would even think that you have this challenge because it's such a testament to the fact that when people say, everything kind of starts in your mind and how you see yourself, you know, do you
Exactly.
see yourself as, someone who's disabled, which is not denying the truth of what is happening, but it's like you don't disable like your thinking and the opportunities and what you can do. So it's like, okay, I know this is going to be a little more challenging, but I'm willing to push myself and my body to see what I can do and even create maybe like a whole new dance genre from just like inclusive dance. Like I'm so blown away. Okay, so I to be honest, to like I actually went to school for theater. So I'm very like passionate about anything that has to do with the stage. And I
Oh,
studied
that's
that in
awesome.
my undergraduate. So when I saw you, I was like, what? I've never seen someone who does the things that you do with your body, if you decide to use, the crutches or not, or without, but just push your body to the limits of just dance. And I also think that you're such a strong dancer. Like your expressions, I'm like, wow, I'm just really so amazed. So let me know when you're coming to Germany to dance. We'll carry ourselves and watch you.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I'm amazed at your mind, your posture of what you've been able to do. It's like you don't tell, no one is going to tell you no if you don't say no yourself, is what I feel.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Wow. So how has that been though? Like, I think maybe the challenge of getting into the performing arts as a dancer, because we also have to be honest. Like, did you get
Hmm.
all your auditions? Like, did you get hired for everything? Was everyone open to the fact that you were, a dancer who, had an amputated leg, but still has all that talent? Like, how has that process been for you?
Um, I won't lie to you. I went through every dance award, with like what evidence I went through.
Mhm.
It is just about like how do I carry myself when I'm mixed
Yeah.
with other people. You know, um, I went through auditions, rejections.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'd say I got rejected more than I am doing now, but I never really got into a giving up mode.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess it's about knowing your market in
Mm-hmm.
working on yourself as a dancer, and again, it's about working on your goals.
Mm-hmm.
If I believe that every dancer have goals. I guess my goals are the ones that drove me to where I managed to get, the heights that I managed to actually reach.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember the first time I worked for a dance company, I didn't know anything about ballet, contemporary, everything. I was just a street dancer.
Yeah.
So I learned everything from scratch. I allowed myself to be a sponge. I sucked everything in.
Mm-hmm.
Through injuries. I managed to work through them.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point where I was like, if I don't feel the pain, then I'm not doing anything.
Wow.
So yeah, I guess it was just about like the mindset of breaking the barriers, breaking the word impossible,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, I get yeah.
Wow. So would you refer to yourself as and I hope I'm not gonna like say this wrong, like an inclusive dancer, a disabled dancer, or you're just a dancer? Like how do you even like people to address you? And I'm asking because I mean, living in society, we know how people are very quick to like label
Yeah,
people. So
yeah.
um,
No, for me, it's just like I, I'm that type of person who goes with what is happening, But
mhm,
I read your mind from what you say to me,
mhm,
If you're gonna say something else, because for me, I just say I'm a dancer. I don't
mhm,
label it like I'm an inclusive dancer and
mhm,
all of that. But if then you say, um, Musa is an inclusive dancer, then that's what you see. So
yeah,
I take it as like, oh, then there's something wrong that I'm doing on stage. Then
mhm,
if these people see an inclusive dancer, then oh my god, then I should be working harder than, so that they don't see the inclusive side of it.
wow,
So I take it as like that. I don't take it as like, oh
mhm,
my god, why is he calling me that and all of that. I
yeah,
just take it as a drive of, I should be doing better, to
yeah,
achieve more.
more
Yeah, but I'm not really hanged up on um
labels
what the
and
society
names.
thinks.
Mhm,
I'm just being in my own mode. I
mhm,
created my own path where
mhm,
everything just bounces off. Yeah, I think the way I think, it's not about it's not actually driven by what other people are saying or what
say,
other
yeah.
people are thinking about it. So it's just about me and living in my own world.
Wow. So, what would you say to a young African boy or girl who might experience the things that you've experienced to get them to where you are? Because I think that you're successful with what you do. I think that just the vibes that you give up are good vibes, and I don't. I get from this interview that you don't like people to pity you because of what happened, but that you want them to see you for what you bring to the table as a dancer. And so, what would you tell a young boy, young girl in Africa who may not have the opportunities that you've gotten, and would like that? Like, how do you inspire them and how do you motivate them?
To be honest with you, I could say hundreds of like motivational speakers
Sorry, I can.
actually.
Could you say it again? For some reason, it's not picking up what you're saying. I'll edit it here. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm saying like I can say a whole lot of things that are motivational. I can say hundreds of motivational words, but as a young person,
Mhm.
we're living in a world where there's like choices. You have options. You know what I mean? So it's your own choice to actually make it in life. You know, the best way to see it is that you were born onto this earth. There's a reason why you were born. If you were not born, then the earth was not going to function well. So your presence really means a lot. You just need to find your purpose. If you find your purpose, then you have the direction. You just need to stick to your purpose because there's no one on this earth, even the ants, plants, everything, the animals, they have a purpose where they're on earth, you know. So you need to know your own purpose. I know to search for it, it's really frustrating
Yeah.
because it won't just come. But when you find it, grab it really tight and make the best out of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Will, so what are you up to now? I know you say you're in London. What are you doing
Yeah.
there? And is this something that people can, pay to come see you or be part of a class? What is it that you do, that you can bring to the community if they wanted to come support you with what you're doing in London?
Oh, currently, I'm working at a company in London called Rambert.
Okay.
It's a classical contemporary ballet dance company.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm basically here for a project. It's called Peaky Blinders. It's going to premiere in September.
Oh, Peaky
Yes.
Blinders. That's good.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're supposed to
Yeah.
know that,
So.
but we know.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Uh
yeah.
huh.
So
Nice.
yeah, so it's gonna start, playing on in September until
Okay.
next year, May.
Hmm.
And then yeah, after that I'll be heading back home.
Okay. Well, I will be in the UK in September, so you need to let me know where
Oh,
the theater is. I will
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
come see.
yeah,
Oh, that's amazing. Okay. This is good. I will put that information as well in our comments
definitely.
and all throughout our podcast like platforms. That way people can just find out what you do, support you, and really
Yeah,
just know that all isn't lost when something really maybe traumatic happens. And I think that's what I'm getting from this interview is that something traumatic happened to you that was life changing and life altering, but somehow you found your purpose in all of this. So, do you think that sorry, that's my other question. Do you think that you would have been a dancer if the amputation never happened? Do you think that this would have
uh
happened?
to be honest, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't say that, I was going to be a dancer. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't want to lie, because um there's this chapter that I went through when I was in hospital.
Hmm.
Like there was a point where chemo was like it deformed me. My
Yeah.
mom couldn't even see who am I. Everything changed on me. Okay,
Mhm.
so on that, I think I was transitioning into something else,
Yeah.
of which is what is happening now. But before, I was plugged into soccer and other things, academics and all of that. But to answer that, I'm like, no, I don't think I was gonna be a dancer because I was a terrible dancer before. So like,
Wow. I know. And honestly,
yeah,
like most Africans who like soccer, if you play soccer very well, like at a certain age, a lot of times it's like either the ticket to get out of, Nigeria or any part of Africa
yeah,
and play
yeah,
soccer. Like that's our thing. So
yeah,
you think that if we were to say God, a higher power, whatever your belief system is, that this was how things are supposed to happen to bring you to this point? Like, is that something that you have resolution with, and that that this is, like you said, this is what I was put on this earth to do?
yeah. I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a true believer of Black Power.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
yeah, it can even go deeper because the time I actually realized that I have to take this serious.
Mm-hmm.
It was the time I was performing in Pretoria,
Mm-hmm.
and we were dancing in a competition. And then when I stepped down on stage after the performance, this other old dude came to me. He was crying. So I was like, oh, another drunk guy is coming up. Let me
Mm-hmm.
just give him a hug. And
Mm-hmm.
and he came, he gave me a hug, and he was like, let me tell you something. Today I came here to enjoy myself for the very last time. But when I saw you on stage,
Mm-hmm.
everything changed. When like the moment I was going to leave here to go home, I was going to commit suicide.
Wow.
So now everything changed after I saw you on stage. I'm like, what?
Wow.
So I took it serious after that. I was like, how many people felt like that before, and how many people are going to feel like that? You
Yeah.
know,
Hmm.
so I believe that this is just a true calling,
Yeah.
because when every time I tried a lot of time to actually step back and focus on my academics,
Mm-hmm.
focus more on my business side, but dance always pulled me in. Like everybody just wanted to work with me, everybody just called me like, Musa, no, come, I have a project for you. I'm like, no, I don't dance anymore. Like, no, it is the last one. And then after the last one comes
Mm-hmm.
the last one, so I was like, all right, let me just, so I believe that it's actually a calling.
Yeah.
It's like a law of attraction. What you
Wow.
believe in actually attract you,
Yeah.
and I believe that through dancing, I'm preaching actually.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Do you feel like your love for dance gets deeper the more you get into it?
yeah, definitely every day, because I believe that through dancing, I preach.
Mm-hmm.
I preach the word of God.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually manifest the word that says, with God everything is possible. And I'm breaking
Yes.
barriers with it. And yeah, that's it.
That's good. Okay, let's not get too deep because you're going somewhere that I'm very comfortable
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
but but you know what? I your faith, your confidence. I think what you've been through. I think your experiences has really just made you just a better person, and I can see why when I list, because I watched a lot of your interviews. I can see why
Yeah,
people said the same thing about just who you are, your love for dance. I think your love for people, you know. I think
yeah.
that shows a lot, especially with the experience with the man who came to give you a hug, is a love for people. And also at a very young age, because you're 20,
7.
27. Okay, I don't want to, yeah. But as a
No,
young age,
27, 27.
okay, the things that you've been through and where you are right now, and how I'm sure you had to grow up a little faster maybe than the average 10-year-old at the time, but just
Mm,
look at where you are and what this gift has is making room for you wherever you go, because I believe that you're going to go to London and to many many places all over the earth, because it's a
Thank
message.
you.
Yeah, you're a message of hope and a message of, there's a life after something extremely challenging that happens to you. And that's very encouraging. And I feel very honored and blessed
Mm.
that I was able to talk to you and that you actually said yes.
It's
so so thank you so
an honor.
much. Well, my last question would be,
Okay.
so South Africa, right? If I were to go to
Mm,
South Africa and I want to visit, or someone who hasn't been to South Africa, what would you recommend? Where would you recommend we go? And let me add one more. What shows on stage would you recommend we see? Any performances? And then what do you recommend that we eat? So let's say I'm a tourist and I'm going to South Africa and I want to come to your homeland. So places we go,
mm,
maybe a Broadway show, a dance show, a performance that we can see, and then a
mm.
nice traditional, maybe South African dish to eat.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. South Africa is a really great country.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Very interesting. You can
Mhm.
start in Cape Town. Cape Town, we have
Nice.
a Table Mountain.
Hmm.
We have more interesting things that are happening there. And then when it comes to food, you can go to Johannesburg, of
Ooh.
which that's where the arts is happening.
Mm.
You know.
Yum.
Yeah, you can have a dish called inyama yentongo neputhu, of
Ooh.
which means
Say it again. I will say it. Inyama.
inyama
Sorry.
inyama yentongo.
Inyama in cool.
Yentongo. It's like it's a cow head.
Ooh.
cowhead meat. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And they serve it with pop.
With pap?
Yeah, and
Okay.
it has like its own unique gravy called
Uh-huh.
ufuzu. Yeah,
Inclusive.
it's
Ooh.
really good for proteins
Mm-hmm.
and boosting your immune system.
Okay.
And then when it comes to shows,
Mm-hmm.
there's like a lot of shows that are playing, but I can recommend you to watch Sion
Sion.
by Gregory Makoma.
Okay.
And again, you can watch more shows created by hmm, 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 is Jameson Noble, who's working at the Market Theatre in Johannesburg in Newtown.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's like a whole lot of shows that are happening in Joburg Theatre,
Mm-hmm.
and they are
Jovic
great.
Theater.
You can watch Joburg Ballet; they do really great shows also.
Nice.
And yeah,
Yay! Oh, I couldn't help but notice your accent. It's like I think Africa is so beautiful. I don't think I can ever get that click. It just
what?
comes, but it's so beautiful. I mean, South Africa is so pretty. It's definitely on my bucket list to
Yeah.
go. I've made a lot of contacts with just professors in inclusive education because this is an
Oh
inclusive
yeah,
education
yeah, yeah.
podcast. Yeah, down there, and I'm really excited about opportunities to go. So this is good. So thank you so much,
Yeah.
Musa. You are such a delight. You're amazing. I think you're an inspiration, and I don't use that word lightly. I think that you are really going to inspire a lot of people, whether they're differently able, have challenges, or not. I just think that
Yeah.
God put you on this earth for a reason, and the fact that you know what that is, and you're really like living it, and
Yeah.
really being an inspiration is huge. And I cannot wait to see how far you're gonna go. And I'm gonna come to London. I'll be
Yeah.
there in September. I'm gonna see that show.
Definitely. You should holler when you're here.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much, Musa. Any
Thank
other
you.
questions for me? Anything you want to say or not say? Say hi to your mom, your
Oh,
dad, a shout out.
yeah, I just wanna compliment what you do, and
Thank you.
yeah, may God bless you more and open more doors for you, and
Thank you.
be able to grow this podcast a bit like more it can be,
Thank you.
uh, yeah, and yeah,
I appreciate that. Oh, they're playing table tennis back there. I
yeah.
just we love table tennis. Anyway, what a pleasure.
Thanks for
Thank
listening
you,
to Miss
Musa.
IJ's Kids Inclusive Podcast this week. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so on our website at www.ijpopoola.com. Or if you want to write to us about topics you would love to hear covered on the show, the email address is popoloijelma@gmail.com, one word. And if you'd like to follow us on our social media pages, it's at Miss IJ's Kids. I am IJ Popoola, and you've listened to Miss IJ's Kids Inclusive Podcast.